What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford on facing Gervonta Tank Davis. He says, I'll stay at 147 for him because that's a big money fight. Unless Errol Spence Jr. unexpectedly requests a second welterweight fight with him, Terence Crawford would remain in the 147-pound division for only one other bout. Crawford would welcome what would be a lucrative showdown with Gervonta Tank Davis, the knockout artist who recently predicted that he would knock out Crawford at 147 pounds. Baltimore's Davis, which is 29-0 with 27 KOs, no losses, no draws, no whammies, is one of the biggest boxer punchers, but he competes in the lightweight division, 2 weight classes below where the undefeated Crawford became an undisputed champion. Crawford said he just talking, okay? You know, he got the confidence in himself that he believes that he can do that because he been knocking all these fighters out he's been in the ring with, you know? So no knock to Tank, but there's definitely levels, you know. And if he comes up to 147 and he's thinking he's just going to knock Terence Crawford out, he's got another thing coming. Okay. And he said, yeah, I'll stay at 147 pounds for him because that's a big money fight. It's a big money fight, you know, yeah. But then what? Everybody going to say he was too small. Nobody going to give me credit. They're going to say, oh, man, you beat a little guy. That fight at 135, yeah, you know, Tank like 5'5", you know, he's a little guy. You know, yeah, he can punch, but in his weight class, not saying that he can't punch in any weight class because he punch, and we see that. You know, but what type of recognition I'm going to get for, you know, beating up on Tank? A lot of people don't know 135 and 147 is a big jump. You know, that's almost 20 pounds. Well, 12 pounds, you know, so that's a big jump. Those are the words of Terence Crawford, and let me counterpunch. This was actually published today, but this is older news. It is a big money fight. But I think this was recent, you know, maybe. But I remember him saying that, co-host Charlamagne the God and Envy. So I think this is recent. So never mind, disregard. And I think, if anything, I think that Terence Crawford, if he stays at 147 pounds to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, and only Gervonta Tank Davis, people are going to give him a lot of stick. Simply because there's a guy there that is bigger than him, that is also undefeated, that is also 29-0, and his name is Jared Boots Ennis. Okay, Jared Boots Ennis is the mandatory, I think, on the one of those belts because it doesn't matter because he has them all. And what I look at and what a lot of people will see is that he will, I'm sorry, Jared Ennis actually is 31-0. Okay, he was 29. He's knocked out a couple people since then. But nonetheless, you know, Jared would call out Terence Crawford, and then that will be this whole comparison for what Canelo did at 168 versus what Terence Crawford would do. Okay, see, Terence Crawford would be seen then in the same light as Canelo Alvarez because everybody is giving Canelo Alvarez shit for not fighting David Benavidez. Okay, and he's David Benavidez is the mandatory. Boots Ennis is the mandatory. So between these two guys, okay, you're looking at two mandatories that the undisputed champ don't want to fight. So you got two undisputed champions that doesn't want to fight the mandatories. That's what the headlines are going to read. Whereas Terence Crawford is just there for a money fight, you know, and that would be the only reason that he'll fight Tank. And I think he should be deterred from what they may say. Why? Damn the money. I think he has enough money at this point. You know, him fighting Gervonta Tank Davis, I don't think it's necessary. I think Gervonta Tank Davis is a guy that should make his own legacy and his own claim by fighting guys like closer to his size, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Vasil Lomachenko, if he's still around, because we don't know how many fights that he really has left. Regis Prograis, okay, so he was 140-pound regular champion up there when he beat Mario Barrios, if you guys can remember, before Barrios moved to 147, and he fought Keith Thurman. However, those guys in that were between 135 and 147 in that weight class, and we're talking about, or we're hearing talks of Gervonta meeting Inui at a catchweight. So, you know, I don't really think that fight would happen anyway. I don't think, and if it did, it would be some type of funny shit, just like Tank would be, in retrospect, the new Manny Pacquiao because of all the catchweight shit, because a lot of times they would want, and they would claim that Gervonta Tank Davis is a bigger draw than Terence Crawford. So they would justify that with trying to make Crawford have some type of rehydration clause or some type of catch weight for Gervonta Tank Davis and him to get in the ring together. That's what I think. And I don't think it's worth any of that. I don't think it's worth the trouble. I don't think it's worth the money, because Terence Crawford admitted, just like Errol Spence admitted, that they're both having problems making 147 pounds. They've outgrown the division. Okay, so fighting someone like Tank Davis at 147 or wherever, you know what I mean, would be worse. And if you met at a catch weight, it's even worse than that. Same thing happened to De La Hoya. He agreed to fight Manny Pacquiao at 145 pounds. And what ended up happening? He was a dead man, okay? But we revealed on his new show on HBO, The Golden Boy, that he was drunk most of the time. So his last training camp, he did something that he never did, that he drank like a fish. Okay, so that might have had something to do with it, and Terence Crawford is not known for those type of things, so it may, and he may have better success, but then why do it? Because I don't think he would get credit for it anyway. You guys tell me what you think of Terence Crawford willing to stay at 147 pounds to take on the superstar Gervonta Tank Davis. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!